Welcome to the Wealthy Business Goddess Show for purpose-driven, passion-fueled spiritual entrepreneurs ready to live their purpose, passion and prosperity as they create the life and business of their dreams whilst transforming the world, doing what they love and making fabulous money. Each week we bring you inspiring and empowering topics, popular thought leaders to empower you to transform all areas of your life and business. With your host, spiritual intuitive, entrepreneur, transformational business coach and mentor, Kimberly Lovell.
Hi sweethearts, it's Kimberly Lovell here, your host for the Wealthy Business Goddess Show, and I'm so excited to be sharing with you today. And I wanted to have a conversation with you around money. If you've been with me for any length of time, you'll know that this is one of my favorite topics, and very much about helping you to transform your life and empower you to be able to grow your business or take your business to the next level. So we've had many guests on the Wealthy Business Goddess Show that have spoken about money, and this is a topic that I love to work on very much with my clients because, you know, there is so much energy and so many beliefs that we have around money. They get projected onto money. So money is simply energy. And for a lot of the spiritual entrepreneurs that I work with, there's very much a split in the collective unconscious between money and spirituality. And I've spoken about this before. So I wanted to dive a little bit deeper and to share with you some of the rapid mindset tools that I use so that you can quickly identify your unconscious limiting beliefs and you can change them, rewire your brain for success, and allow yourself to transform your relationship with money so that you can up-level your impact and your income and make the difference that you came here to make in the world. So let's talk about your mind. Okay, so if you imagine that your mind, the tip of your mind is like an iceberg, the tip of the iceberg. So 5% of the iceberg is above the water, and that's your conscious mind, all right? And then everything that is below the water is your unconscious mind, which is 95%. And so it's your unconscious mind that is actually running the show, running your life and creating your reality. On a conscious level, you set your goals. You may have goals in many different areas in your life and in your business. You may have goals to build your list, to attract more of your ideal clients, to create a certain amount of income, for example. And on a conscious level, you're wanting to create these goals, you want to have these results in your life. You maybe have a plan, hopefully you have a plan, and you maybe get some results, you get some success, but you may notice that sometimes it's like banging your head against a brick wall, or that you can see that you're sabotaging yourself. Okay, and you know, if you are not getting the results that you want, then, you know, truthfully, you're the common denominator. So we are creating our reality, and so we create the results that we get in our business. And if you're not getting the results that you're wanting, then there's a couple of things going on. One is that most probably you have some unconscious beliefs that are blocking you. And the second thing that may be happening is that you're using the wrong business strategy or the business model that you're not aligned with, or it's not working for you. We have different business models and different strategies that are appropriate at different stages of our business. And so as a business mentor, these are some of the things that I often come across with my clients when they're finding themselves challenged and they're not able to get the results that they're wanting. So we can talk about business strategies and business models on another episode, but I wanted to focus today around the money mindset because this is really key. How you do money is how you do everything. And so your relationship with money will show up and impact all areas of your life and your business, and will also reflect some of the ways that you show up in those different areas of your life. So for example, if you are someone who has a love-hate relationship with money and you're not in your power with money, then, you know, maybe this is reflected in other areas of your life where you are not showing up fully, you're not being you're not standing in your power in your relationships, for example, or with your health. So, you know, we're all have our challenges and our different goals that we're wanting in life and in different areas of life. And very often what I find is that people have success in certain areas of their life, and then there may be challenges in other areas of their life. And it's possible for us to have the happiness and the success in all areas of our life. And the Wealthy Business Goddess show is about inspiring and empowering you to be able to have that. Because one of the big unconscious blocks that I find, and I've experienced this myself, and it took me a while to realize, is that I had a belief that I couldn't have everything that I wanted. And so I was making choices in my life, and I was choosing between love or money, all right, which, you know, why would I have to choose? And some of you may be relating to this, and you'll recognize, you know, situations in your life where you've perhaps made those choices. And maybe it was around the same topics, but maybe it was around something else. So if you are experiencing that one thing is going right and another thing is going wrong, and you know, the more results you get in one area of your life and something else goes wrong, then often this is like this unconscious sabotage, where maybe you have a belief that you can't have it all, or maybe you have a belief that you can't have, you know, success and relationship, or wealth and relationships. So whatever it is for you, I'm just encouraging you today to look at what's going on in your life. What are the patterns that are showing up in your life, in your business, within your money flows, and to make a commitment to yourself to, at the least, do some self-reflection, do some journaling or some meditation, or there's a process that I'm going to share with you a little bit around how you can find the bottom beliefs, or get yourself a coach or a mentor who can support you so that you can actually break through your unconscious mindset. I spent many years working as a psychotherapist and working as a hypnotherapist before I went on to train people in hypnotherapy. And, you know, it's such a revelation when people discover the unconscious beliefs that they're running. And you're going to be amazed at the beliefs that you have around money that you didn't even realize that you had, because they are unconscious. And, you know, there'll be beliefs that you would say, no, I don't believe that. And sometimes they're not your beliefs. So our beliefs come from this lifetime. You know, our childhood, up until about the age of 7, we are taking in many beliefs from our parents, from our caregivers, from our teachers, from society as a collective unconscious. So we take on these beliefs as we're growing up, and then we go on to really experience life based upon our beliefs. So our beliefs are creating our reality. And so if we have a belief that, you know, let's say we're hopeless with money, then that is what we will actually create in our life, situations and dramas with money that will go on to prove that, you know, we're right, we're hopeless with money. That's just an example for you, all right? But, you know, some of you may have this belief, and I know certainly for myself, you know, money was an area that I struggled with. When I first started out many years ago now as a therapist, I would give away my work for free. I didn't feel like I could charge very much for my spiritual gifts and my abilities, you know, and this is a very common belief for spiritual entrepreneurs. So often I see them undercharging and over-delivering. And, you know, there's the beliefs such as money is the root of all evil, or I have to give my gift and serve people, and that is wrong to receive money for my gifts. Okay, so I'll share more of these beliefs, and I'm also going to give you a link later on so that you can actually go and download a list of limiting beliefs around money. Some of the courses that I teach, we actually go through 100 money beliefs, and you know that we have thousands of beliefs in our unconscious mind, but I want to share with you some of the really important and common beliefs that come out, because no matter what beliefs you have, beliefs are, if you know the game of is it Jenga, where you have building blocks one on top of the other and you have to pull them out, your beliefs are like that. They're stacked one on top of the other, and you know the way to clear the belief is to find the bottom belief. So we may have all kinds of beliefs around money, that, you know, money's hard to come by, that there isn't enough to go around, that, you know, we might fear losing our money, we might fear being rich. You know, sometimes we can have both of those opposing beliefs, which is really interesting, right? But we can have these beliefs from this lifetime, from our ancestors, so from up to 7 generations back, sometimes more. And we can also have beliefs that are from the collective unconscious or from past lives, okay? So you may or may not believe in past lives. What you'll find is that these beliefs, when you muscle test, you'll be able to check whether you have them or not, okay? So I'm going to show you very quickly right here how to muscle test. So if you are listening to this, you'll be able to go to the website, you'll be able to click on a video that will show you how to muscle test, and you can download the list of beliefs to check. So if you take 2 hands and put your thumb and your forefingers together to create 2 circles, and then you're going to interlock those circles. And muscle testing is based on applied kinesiology. So your muscles will lock when it's a true response or a yes response. So I say yes, 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 and pull, and the muscles lock. And then no, 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 the muscles come apart, okay? They break, it's very easy. So you're trying to keep your fingers and thumbs together, and you're pulling and resisting. And if they lock, it's a strong response or a yes, and if they come apart, it's a no. So if you just test that and check that you've got your yes and your no, and then you can test something like my name is, or I'll say my name is Kimberly, here's my name's Leslie, no. Okay, so have a little play with this. The more that you use the muscle testing, the easier it will become for you. So let me share some bottom beliefs with you, because when we actually look at the money beliefs, and we actually it's a process that I share with people where we actually dig to find the bottom belief through a series of questions or reflection. And you know, as an intuitive, I'm clairaudient, so I hear people's unconscious mind and what their bottom beliefs are, and some of the stories and things that are going on for them. I'm clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient. So I've always had this ability to be able to see what was going on with people without them needing to tell me the whole story. And so it's a very rapid way of being able to identify the limiting beliefs and to be able to change them. So I'll share with you how we do this. Let's find the beliefs that you might be holding to start off with. So some of the things to think about in terms of this lifetime are, you know, what were your parents' beliefs around money when you were growing up? Sometimes you might have parents with different money beliefs, okay? So somebody who likes to save money, for example, or who feels like there's never enough money, and then somebody else who's spending a lot of money, okay? Often we find that we have these differences in relationships. So maybe one of your parents was the one that liked to spend, another one was the one that liked to save, or, you know, maybe things were tough growing up and there wasn't, you know, a lot of money to go around. You probably heard the saying that money doesn't grow on trees. Maybe you heard you can't have everything you want, or maybe you were fortunate and that you could have what you wanted and that money was abundant, right? You know, that doesn't mean to say that you're going to have an easy time with money, because often there's other beliefs that go as well. You know, we can have plenty of money and we can still have a fear of losing money, or we can still feel like we have to save everything, that we're not able to spend it. So have a think about how that was for you growing up, okay? And that will give you an idea of some of the beliefs that could be going on, and then you can muscle test. So you can muscle test, I'm abundant, okay? Remember I told you that there are different levels, so you could muscle test, I'm abundant on the core level, I'm abundant on the history level, I'm abundant on the soul level, I'm abundant on the genetic level. I've done quite a lot of work around my money belief, so that's good. We're abundant on I'm abundant on all levels. And you know, we can also test for a dual belief, because the unconscious mind is quite slippery, and so sometimes you will test something and it will say yes, and if you test the opposite, it will say yes to that as well. So you could test I'm abundant, and then you could test I'm poor. Luckily, I've cleared those beliefs as well. So have a play around with this, because sometimes, you know, in the beginning when you start muscle testing, you know, you may need to spend a little bit of time and get used to that. And you can find out more on the website, but just to give you this little bit of insight right now, some of the other beliefs that come up that are what I call bottom beliefs are, beneath the fear of maybe losing money, or there's not enough money to go around. It's like, well, what's the worst thing about that there isn't enough money? And everybody would have a different response to this. So see where your thoughts go when you think about, what's the worst thing about that? Or maybe you're in a job and you feel like you're underpaid, or maybe you'd like another job and you don't feel that there's that you're qualified enough, or maybe you are in a job and you feel that people get promoted over you. Okay, maybe you're in a job and you'd like to start your own business. All right, so what are the thoughts that come up for you when you think around money and your situation, your life? Those are a good starting point. And then think about, how was money when you were growing up? Where did those beliefs come from? Was that what you experienced in your childhood, or is that, your family's beliefs? And then you could start muscle testing. And if you start asking these questions about, what's the worst thing about having not enough money, or what's the worst thing about having lots of money? All kinds of strange thoughts pop up in your head when you start asking these questions. So some people might like to journal this, or you might like to go into a meditation. I teach people to go into a theta meditation. That's the process that I use to clear the beliefs. So you can find out more about that on the website. But essentially, we go into a theta brainwave, which allows us to connect with both our conscious and our unconscious mind, and allows us to hear the beliefs or connect with the stories and the thoughts and the feelings that are going on around a particular area of our life, or a particular challenge or situation, and then we can identify the limiting beliefs. So let's say there might be a belief that if you have lots of money that you will lose it all. And then what would be the worst thing about that? Well, maybe you'd be homeless, maybe you would be nothing. That's often a belief that comes up. I'm nothing, I have nothing, and then therefore the belief is I am nothing. And so, of course, if you're nothing, then your self-worth, your self-esteem, your relationships will be impacted, your money flows will be impacted. And of course, we have these beliefs on different levels. It may not be what you believe from this lifetime. You might think, oh, I'm great with money, right? But you might have this belief that I'm hopeless with money, or I fear losing it all, or I lose it all and I'm nothing. Okay, and if you have that belief going on an unconscious level, on some level, then what will happen is that you'll be sabotaging. So you may be making money, but you may find that you've got, you'll make a certain amount of money and then there'll be lots of expenses coming up, or you'll make a certain amount of money and it's like you can't go beyond that. We tend to have a thermometer, like an unconscious thermometer, that regulates the amount of money that we can receive. So if you actually look back at your money flows, you might see, if you're in business, you might see that you make a certain amount each month, and then maybe it goes up a little bit, maybe like 10% more, 10% less. Or maybe you might find that some months you make a lot more money, and then what often happens is that the big bills come up, and then the next month it's much lower amount of money that you make, or there's much more money going out. So this is because our unconscious wants to keep things the same. We like to be safe, we like to be comfortable, and it's kind of out of our comfort zone. And so there's this kind of upper limit in terms of what you will allow yourself to receive. And so money is a part of that you receive the money. And so how much money will you allow yourself to receive? But as I said to you, in the beginning, it's not just about the money. So how much joy do you allow yourself to receive? Because they're very connected, and money does follow joy. And, if you're doing what you love, sometimes there's a belief that you can't make money doing what you love, or you can't make enough money doing what you love, that you have to get do a job that you don't like in order to make money. So, or, in business, this can show up in different ways, in that people, maybe have gone through that process and they've left jobs, they're now working for themselves, they've got their own business, but they've still got that mindset that of being an employee. So rather than being, the CEO and the director of their business, they are working a lot of hours. They're doing everything, So if this is you, you want to have a look at, how can you create more revenue so that you can have the support to be able to let go of doing all the things that you don't enjoy doing, and you can just focus on what you actually love doing. Because very often we have these beliefs that, you have to work hard for money. So that's one that you might want to test. I have to work hard for money. I fear being rich. I fear being successful. Money is evil. It's safe for me to have plenty of money. Yeah? So test these beliefs and check if you, if you think you're doing great, then, that could be fantastic, and maybe you are, but it may be that you need to test them on the individual levels, because sometimes the unconscious mind likes to hold on to things. So go through and test, I'm abundant on the core level, I'm abundant on the history level, I'm abundant on the genetic level, I'm abundant on the soul level, and just see to make sure. You may find that you test, I'm abundant, yes, and then when you test on the separate levels, you might find that you get a no. The other thing that you do is you can test for a dual belief, which would be I'm abundant, no. So again, you might test I'm abundant, and then if you test I'm abundant, no, you might get yes on that as well. So what that says is that there's a part of you that's abundant and a part of you that believes you're not abundant. This may be because you've got an ancestor that has a belief, in, or you may have taken a vow of poverty. As spiritual entrepreneurs, often we've taken vows of poverty. So, as you have a greater understanding of spirituality and your purpose, you realize that money is a tool, and that, in order to grow your business and get your gifts out in the world, in order to serve people, then money is a fantastic tool, and that you can also do more and you can give more when you have more. And so, you can think about what you could contribute to the world and how much more you could contribute to the world if you had the abundance and the success and you were out there living your purpose and helping more people. All right, because the more people that you help and the more value you share in the world, then usually the more the money flows. All right, because it's about this exchange of energy and the giving and the receiving. And so, one of the other things that I ask my clients to think about is what you would do with money. Okay, so money likes to have a plan. Money likes to have a container. So, you need to have a savings account. If you're in business, but I know very often, when I speak to people who are just starting up, they might have a personal account and not have a business account set up. You want to have a business account so that you actually, energetically, you actually have a business. Okay. Again, I've been there many years ago. When I first started up and I didn't separate it out. It's really important to do this from the energetic point of view. So check and see, if you are somebody who struggles with doing your paperwork. That was me many years ago, until I finally realized that, it was something I struggled with, and actually it'd be better off to have an accountant that would take care of all of that for me. So that's what I did. What is it that you need to do? What's a small change that you can make in your relationship with money that, if you make that small change, would have a huge impact in your life and in your money flows? Okay. Could be something really simple like opening up a savings account. Even if you were saving, £5 a week, it's actually getting into that habit and that behavior of saving. Okay. So maybe you have a savings account. Maybe you are someone who has trouble spending. Maybe you need to look at how you can have pleasure with money, so that money is something that's fun for you rather than work. All right. And so therefore you want to look at how you can spend your money and give yourself a budget. Okay. So maybe, I love having massages. All right. And self-care is really important when you're in business for yourself. And and will really help you to create more abundance and to serve more people. You need to take care of yourself. And so, you know, you need to put aside some funds so that you can have things like, you know, whatever it is that you do in order to take care of your health or in order to, you know, self-nurture. So it might be a massage, or it might be acupuncture, or it may be that you go, you know, you have a swimming and a gym membership or something, and maybe you have a healthcare plan. All right, so you need to set aside the funds, and you need to create space for you to be able to self-nurture, for you to be able to save, to be able to put aside the money that you need for your taxes, etc., so that it doesn't come as a big shock for you. So these are all kind of like good habits to have around your money, and they are habits that you want to do on a regular basis and get into the habit of doing these, even if you're starting out small, as I say, and just pick one thing that you can change. All right, so don't go trying to change everything, because often your unconscious mind will rebel against that and sabotage you. So I hope that's giving you food for thought, and that you can begin to look at, you know, what your relationship with money is like, what your beliefs might be, and what are the behaviors that you could actually change. Because those small changes, you know, if you were to start a savings plan and save, you know, £50 a month or £5 a week, whatever amount it is, on a regular basis, that adds up. And as I say, it is that behavior. And then once you start earning more, then you can start saving more. Okay, and you can also start spending more. You can start appreciating and enjoying the money. But think about, what is it that you will do with the money? Because a lot of people forget this. They pluck some pie in the sky figure out of the air when they think about their money goals, rather than think about what are the changes that they want to make in the world, what kind of lifestyle do they want to live. And they kind of like, you know, you could do the figures and work out, so, you know, how much money do you want to be earning to be able to have that? Yeah. So here's some things that will really support you in having more clarity and perhaps being a little bit more grounded with your money and transforming your money relationship. I would love to hear what action you're taking. So do let me know on the blog post. If you're interested to find out more about sacred money archetypes, which will give you insight into your unconscious beliefs, or to work with me and find out how you can identify your limiting beliefs, you can sign up on the website, and you will get a little video showing you to muscle test and a list of beliefs you can download. You can have a look at that yourself. But if you want some one-to-one support in clearing your beliefs and rapidly creating changes with your money flows, then you can check my one-to-one sessions on the website, and you can book sessions from there, or drop me an email if you have any questions around that. So I hope this has been useful for you. I know money is a big topic for everyone in some way, shape or form. So let me know how this has impacted you. Let me know your takeaways, ahas and insights, and what you're going to do to create the change with money. And I look forward to speaking with you again next week. Until then, lots of love.
You've been listening to the Wealthy Business Goddess Show. If you've enjoyed the show, subscribe and review our podcast. Sign up to receive your Wealthy Business Goddess resources and join us in the Wealthy Business Goddess community at www.lovekimberly.com/WBG. To find out more about how Kimberly can support you in creating the life and business of your dreams, or to watch the show via video, visit the website at www.kimberlylovell.com.